ॐ नमो भगवते वैवस्वताय मृत्यवे ब्रह्मविद्याचार्याय नचिकेतसे च पराञ्चिखानि व्यतृणत्स्वयम्भूः तस्मात् परां पश्यति नान्तरात्मन् कश्चिद्धीरः प्रत्यगात्मानमैक्षत् आवृत्तचक्षुरमृतत्वमिच्छन् परांची परांग अंशति गच्छति, that which moves outside, that is designed. Sense organs are designed to look outside. They are called khani. Kham means akasha. Akasha upalakshitah shrotrendriya and sarvani indriyani. So all sense organs are designed to objectify, designed to perceive the objects of the world. Since this is how it is designed, this Acharya says, Vyatrunat Swayambhuhu. You know, this jiva is destroyed or killed by Bhagavan as though. It is not killed or destroyed as though. Why it is said so? Why Bhagavan did like this? This design of senses being extrovert is meant for Jivatma only. The whole Jagat, beginning from Hiranyagarbha onwards to COVID bacteria, is created for fulfilling or exhausting samasti karma phalas. Jiva's karma phala decide the world, the situation, the objects, the people. Karma phala has designed this so that you can have sukha dukkha, your punya papa, sensual pleasure and sensual pain. It is designed to exhaust prarabdha, technically. But then, unfortunately, this particular, you can open it whole. Okay. But in this design, you can say side effect, like medicine side effect, is that Jivatma gets entangled into sensual pleasure. There is a beautiful shloka explaining the cycle of karma and karma phala, and then karma phala. It says, Kurvate karma bhogaya karma kartum cha bhujyate. The fellow does karma to exhaust, enjoy some punya papa. And that very process of exhaustion, very process of enjoying punya papa, the seed for new karma is planted. That is why it is called cycle of birth and death, cycle of karma phala. Like even simple example, suppose they decide that today we want to go to some hotel for dinner. You just plan. And then where to go, some place you decide. They might have decided the venue for many other reasons. in terms of location and a little privacy or greenery or whatever. And you order certain items. When you order those items, you have never tasted. Hey, while eating only, there is a samskara or vasana that is created. What? How? Wow, it's so nice. It's very delicious. I like it. Another group member would say, I just don't like it. I don't like the taste. Now, you went for bhoga, but that becomes a seed for new karma. After 3 months or 4 months later, you pass by, you have time, you are not that hungry, but still little hungry, then you will stop by and buy that item. So action is performed for bhoga. Bhoga is, while doing bhoga, the seed for new action gets planted. That's how the cycle goes. And that is called Vedrunat. The Jivatma develops new set of likes and dislikes, new set of values in the process of going through these experiences. And thereby Vedrunat has been destroyed. Destruction is in a sense that human body is gifted for moksha. To use it only for artha kama is as good as destruction. All other bodies, traditionally we say 84 lakhs of yonis, 84 lakhs types of bodies are there. This is a unique body which has potential to do viveka, vairagya and gain knowledge. But the body is used, the discrimination, viveka is used for gaining more artha and more kama. That itself is called destruction. In other words, not using the gift of buddhi properly is called destruction. Buddhi is given for nitya-nitya viveka, atma-anatma viveka, where other than that it is being used for arthakama viveka. That is destruction. So, figuratively said, the jiva is destroyed. Vetrunat swayambhu. It is not, there is a possibility of self-destruction. That's a better way of saying. Having created sense organs extrovert, there is a possibility of self-destruction. But why you say that God has destroyed? Or why you say possibility? What is a window not to get self-destroyed? In Ishavasya Upanishad there is a mantra, Ekecha Atmahano Janaha. This is, they are suicidal, they kill themselves who don't pursue the self-knowledge. Because the window to gain moksha is there. Bhagavan has, to avoid this possibility, Bhagavan has given Shastra. And our rishis have given a lifestyle of dharma. If you live a life of dharma, it automatically leads you to moksha. This system of varna ashrama, varna and ashrama wise karma, it is like assembly line. In an assembly, if something is placed on the first step, ultimately it will be led to the finished product. So if from childhood, if you live a life of dharma, then you will be led to moksha. And that is a window. So buddhi naturally tends to go for arthakama, jivatma, because of purva janma samskara. So all other jivatmas go for arthakama. It is human being who has to use the buddhi. That 3rd chapter shloka, Indriyasya indriyasyarthe ragadveshau vyavastito. Tayorna vashamagachet tauhi asya paripanthi. No. This is dvipsa, twice. Indriyasya arthe. Means every sense organ has its own corresponding, has strong raga dveshas for their corresponding vishayas. That is paranchikhani. That will pull you to vishayas. The human freedom lies in not to surrender my free will to what my instinct says, what my raga dvesha says. Bhashyakara writes very beautifully. Yada shastra drashtihi bhavati. Before pursuing, before converting fancy into an action or desire into action, the freedom lies whether I check, is this particular fancy or this particular desire is approved by Shastra? Is it as per Dharma? Is it proper for me to do? Then go ahead. That is the viveka. That is the freedom. If that is tayoho vasham na agache, don't come under that sway. The use of free will is this, not to change the world or external infrastructure as I want it. No. Whatever may be infrastructure, I have to change this infrastructure of fancies and desires according to Shastra. Otherwise, tauhi asya paripanthi. No, they are the looters. They will loot away the whole life because the nature of the Vishaya being such that it takes from one to another to another. Therefore, it is said the person is destroyed because possibility, if person doesn't use buddhi, he or she may do self-destruction. And that is why in our tradition, first ashrama was brahmacharya ashrama, and in brahmacharya ashrama, teaching of dharma was given, along with professional. Two vidyas were taught. One is wisdom of earning, the profession that you have to do, because from brahmacharya the fellow or felly becomes grihastha. So they have to learn to survive. Grihastha requires wealth. So professional expertise was imparted. But along with professional, they were given wisdom of living. And that wisdom of living is knowledge about dharma. That is why this valedictory speech, Vedic valediction, when the teaching is over and the teacher tells him ultimately that Vedam anuchyacharyo ante vasinam anushasti. Vedam anuchya, having taught the Vedas, is the time to leave Gurukulam. Acharya anushasti, gives upadesha. What is the first sentence? Satyam vada dharmam chara swadhyaya anma pramadaha. This is wisdom of living. One should know what is proper and what is improper for me. The buddhi should be empowered to know, and it should be empowered to say no to myself. The freedom lies in capacity to deny myself. First, empowerment in terms of wisdom, and having had the wisdom, one should have necessary strength to deny myself about the things which I want, which are improper, which are not approved by Shastra. Shastra sammati nasti. And capacity to push myself for something which I ought to do, but I don't feel like doing. You know, the definition of freedom, Puja Swami used to give a very nice definition. What is freedom? Freedom is not something that I do what I feel like doing and I don't do what I don't feel like doing. No. Freedom is to do the things even if I don't feel like doing. And not to do the things even if I feel like doing. If I don't feel like doing, I push myself to do because it is proper. I feel like doing, but it is not proper. I have freedom, a capacity to hold back, to withdraw myself. That is the window, buddhi. So, Paranchi khani vetrunat swayam bhuhu. So, Bhagavan has given this world for karma kshaya, prarabdha kshayartha, individual and samasti. But then they convert this into bhogartha. That is why vetrunat, as though destroying. Bhagavan and our tradition, rishis have given shastra, have given wisdom, but they don't use that, and therefore it is called as though destroying. Paranchikhani Vyatrunat swayambhuhu tasmat parang pachyati nantaratman. Exactly like, the child, pampered child, who is given whatever he or she wants, will be spoiled child, will be irresponsible and will destroy himself or herself. Similarly, to allow our senses and mind to have whatever it wants, it will lead to self-destruction. And Kashit dhiraha, this dhiraha, as I said, Yamaraja likes this word often. He uses Kashit dhiraha. Again and again, the word dhiraha is used in the Shastra. What does it, dhiraha, mean? He says very beautifully, he describes who is dhiraha. Kaha asau dhiraha, he says, Nadyaha pratirisrotaha pravartanam iva dhiraha dhiman viveki. Dhiraha means dhiman, viveki, discriminative. But what kind of discrimination? Nadyaha, he says, pratisrotaha pravartanam. River flows in one direction, and to make it flow in just the opposite direction, towards its moolam, the effort that is required to turn around the river, that much effort is required to turn around oneself from extrovertedness to introverted. There is a story in our history. There was a king called Kartavirya Arjuna. He had 1,000 hands. Sahasrarjuna. He had 1,000 hands, and he had turned around Narmada like that. And by the way, this Tirtha Sthanam, pilgrim place, are the ones where some Rishi or some Bhagavan or some story is there. There is a story, that's why it becomes pilgrimage. But in terms of rivers, when there is a confluence, it is Tirtham, and when the river itself turns around towards its Mukham, that is called Tirtham. Rishikesh is a Tirtha Sthan. Well, if you see Gangaji, it becomes northwards. It's coming from Himalayas, eastern, on the top. But then somewhere further, after Mayakund, it takes this turn and then goes back. So it is called Tirtha Sthanam. And the person, it is like a river. All our energies are flowing in extrovertedness towards Vishaya. To turn around, that person himself becomes Tirtham. So, Tulsidas ji says, sadhus are Jangama Tirtha. They are moving Tirtha. because that person has turned around this natural pravrutti which was there from beginningless of time. Anadikala pravritto ayam jiva. That from anadikal, beginningless of time, he or she, the jivatma, was pursuing only vishayas, and from there he has turned around to the moolam, atma swarupam, from where it gets the shakti, and that is why they are respected. In our culture, any viraktaha is always respected because of this. Any virakta means having any vairagya. Simple white clothes, living home and staying alone becomes as respected as sadhu. As a wise person, they respect him. And out of that respect only in Kumbh Mela, you get dakshina also. This, you see, one thing people have not noted. I have been telling this. I hope government takes the stand. They say it's the largest religious congregation. But one more thing is there, reflecting our Hindu value. The Kumbh Mela, depending upon astrological things, it lasts 30-40 days. And last time, during Prayagraj, I was told some figure, some 40 crores people visited Kumbh Mela. And you don't know 40 crores visited. How many days they stayed? Some might have stayed 2 days, some might have stayed 3 days. So minimum you can say every day 2 square meals and 1 breakfast. So it amounts to 120 crores if 1 day. And if you say 3, because Mahatmas stay all the 40s, Sevak stays all the 40s, and the Snana time, they stay minimum 3 days, because previous day onwards it is closed. So much of rush. And next day also you can't move. See, imagine just roughly putting the statistics that these 40 crore people stayed for 3 days. Just 3 days. And 3 meals a day. So 9. 40 multiplied by 9. 360 crores. 3.6 billion meals are provided free. There is no restaurant in Kumbh Mela. You have seen that? Nothing. If you have your credit card, it is useless. You just, and you go, they say this caste discrimination and all that. It is all narrative. You go to any ashram, they don't ask your jati. They don't ask from your area from where you come. Nothing. On the contrary, they will force you to eat. Aiye, khana khaiye. And breakfast time, they will provide breakfast, tea time, evening tea, morning tea. And they are competing with each other. If this fellow starts at 6, I will start at 6:15. Others are 6:30. Some 6 to 9 you keep getting. So you can have half a dozen minimum cups of tea. And if your stomach accommodates, you can have minimum 6 varieties of sweet dishes. Every day sweet dish is there. Eat here, eat there, go. And if you want to stay, they will give you bed and sleep in a dormitory. It is all there. Imagine so much of logistics. Done by sadhus. All sadhus do this. Grihastha seva. In a way, ulta hai. And you just have food, and if you are in a white cloth, you get dakshina also. Whether you are Japanese, they don't care. And even foreigners in white clothes are given dakshina. Sadhu hai. That value for a person who has committed to self. Avritta chakshu. he has given up the natural pursuit of sense objects, he is respected. And that person is given the Krishna also, as I say. And this all, the India is full of such viraktas, such people who just, there is a value to be sadhu and to be introvert. Every village would have one temple. There would be one fellow sitting, may not know Shastras, may not know even Sanskrit. But they would be having some temple and Goseva and something they do. And obviously in village, they don't have liquidity. Village people don't have a lot of money. They can give you food and milk, but not cash. So they go to Kumbh Mela and make sure for next 3 years cash is available. All these dakshinas, they get enough, and sometimes they get for expansion, construction work. They tell also, Swamiji, Kumbh mein jana hai, I want to go to Kumbh Mela. I said, why? I want to build 2 rooms here. You will get that money. This value for virakta. Therefore, is kashit, rare one. And it is said that rarity is born out of aneka janma punya. When you live a life of dharma for some births, then, as I said yesterday, dharma leads to purity of mind. And purity of mind is freedom from likes and dislikes. What is ashuddhi? Your strong likes and dislikes are ashuddhi, that's all. In fact, that is a papa. Strong likes and dislikes, strong value structure in life. Some people always see the things binary. No means no, yes means yes. This is how things should be. The strong ragadveshas is papa. In the 7th chapter, Bhagavan says, Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmana. Those janaha, those people who are performing punya karmas, tesham papam antagatam. Their papa comes to end. Papa is destroyed. Then what happens? Te dvandva moha vinirmukta. They become free from moha of dvandva, ragadvesha. They become free from ragadvesha and bhajante mam dradavrata. So ragadvesha is papam. Ultimate papam is ignorance. Self-ignorance is the ultimate sin, because ego, that causes all other sins. And ego's manifestation is nothing but ragadvesha. Kartrutva, bhoktrutva, strong ragadveshas. So when you perform punya karma, when you live a life of dharma, then antakarana shuddhi takes place. That is a punya karma. Kaschid dhira. Kaschid, why? Because it is very rare to happen. Bhagavan says, Aneka janma samsiddhaha tato yati paramgati. It takes so many births. Life committed to dharma. Life committed to kartavya. And that is where, when the antakarana is shuddham, 2 things can happen. Primarily, the fundamental question arises. Hey, what am I doing? What did I get so far? There is some undefined uneasiness with myself, discomfort with myself as to what I am pursuing. Things are not okay. I want something new. I want something else to do. That type of thought, that slow down in the pursuit of artha kama happens, and there is some space is created to divert my effort to something other than artha kama. That is the punya. Aneka janma. Therefore it is said like turning the river to its roots. That were kaschid dhiraha pratyagatmanam aikshat. That dhira will look for atma, pratyagatma. Pratyagatma means the self. Pratyak, you can say the innermost or the ultimate self. Yesterday I told you this inner or ultimate, this adjectives to self are only with reference to ignorance. Ignorant fellow has many selves. There is a physical self, there is a pranic self, there is a emotional self, there is cognitive self. The ultimate means that self which is true self. Innermost in a sense of subtlety. Innermost sense of giving satta spurti to others. That means Satchidatma. Pratyagatmanam aikshat means seeking the self. Now this seeking self happens because of culture. This is the advantage of Hindu culture. You grow up in this culture and pick up this value. Like even, I remember 25, 30 years ago when I went first time to US, our Indian women, girls are, even now also when Swami comes, they are enthusiastic to show that they are holding the culture. They are good mothers. So they teach some shloka to their children. And children have to present to Swami. And that program is before lunch. I have to pay the price, And the child will not speak. That moment only it will not speak. Beta, Ganpati ka slok bolo. Tell Ganpati shloka, Ganpati. After some persuasion and tempting and all that, the child comes. Come on, speak, come on, speak. Okay, Krishna sloka. You like flute? Vachadeva Chutam. I will stop. Then rest mom will prompt it and then finish. Now tell Ganpati shloka. And the mother said, little for a moment child was blank-faced. They always tell me, Swamiji, before you came, last 3 days he has been chanting this. But now only he doesn't. Dasaran Dadaj Godu na Doda. Now only he doesn't want. Please tell, please tell. And then mother said that, I still remember, it stuck to me that time. That elephant god shloka. When we grow up here, I never imagine it is elephant god. It never comes to us. Then Hanumanji became monkey god. It looks derogatory to us. Culture. So when you grow up, even now you go to village, old lady, absolutely illiterate, 90, 80 years old. Then you tell her, come on, let's go to US. She would say, I don't want to go anywhere. अभी भगवान के पास जाने का टाइम आ गया. Now this time has come to go to Bhagavan. The definition of moksha, she doesn't know. There is a value. So there is a value, some indirect awareness, indirect knowledge-based awareness that there is something called Atma that I should pursue. Even now people tell us, Swamiji, bas abhi Gita padhni hai. I want to study Gita. Why? Shanti pana hai. Want to get peace, want to get happiness. That value is there. That thing props up. The fellow has heard this. He knows You come across people living home and studying Shastras and all that. But when there is a space here created, when Raga Dvesha stand neutralized because of Punya Karma, that thing props up. Let me go and expose myself to Shastra. Exact case is Arjuna. He was so riddled with ambition and all those things. Desires, love for power and valor and all kinds of things, fame, etc. Somehow a space was created at the time of battle, Mahabharata. And he asked, Yat Shreyasyat Nishchitam Bruhitan me Shishyasteham Shadipam. Teach me. That is Dhira. Rare to him. Krishna was around all this lifetime. He was his buddy. He was there. But he didn't have a space. Therefore, Mahatmas say, there is a word in Prahasanniva Bharata. Krishna told him as though smiling. Little smile. Why? Krishna thought, Mahatmas interpret, today he has asked me the right thing. All these days he asked me how to do this war and how to get Pasupata Astra and how to rule, etc., etc. But the thing that I wanted to give him is now he is asking. Today. That is Dhira. Aneka Janma Punya Karma Paripakat. The Jivatma asks for Hasid Dhiraha Pratyagatmanam Aikshate. What is Atma? The self. That is the Rudyartha. As I said in Sanskrit, Bhashyakara quotes this shloka. Every noun is derived from verb. It has a meaning. So there is a definition of Atma. Yachapnoti yadadatte yacha atti vishayaniha yacha asya santato bhavaha tasmad atmeti kirtyate. Yacha apnoti. Apnoti vyapnoti. That which is all pervasive, which pervades everything, is Atma. Ap is a verb. Then there are certain suffixes added and Atma Shabda is made. Why it is all pervasive? Upadana karanatvat. Atma is the very material cause. That means I am the creator. See, many people tell, be Sakshi. Atma is Sakshi. So if it is ultimate, then Sakshi and Sakshya Dvaita is there. And Sakshi is one little Sakshi. Then so many Sakshis. That's not the true. That Sakshi is Jagat Karanam Brahma. Tasmadva etasmad atmanah akashas sambhutah akashad vayuhu vayo ragni. From which Atma? Satyam Gnanam Anantam Brahma Tasmad Brahman. Etasmad Atmana. That Brahman which is Atma is Jagat Karanam. Therefore it is Apnoti. Yacha adatte. Adatte means eats away. Atti, grahan karna. Why? Again, upadana karanatvat. That material that is created, it will resolve into its raw material. Pralay kale, everything resolves into him. That is Atma. Yacha apnoti, yacha adatte, yacha atti vishayaniha. And while being ignorant, the fellow is eating vishayas. Does bhoga. That Mundaka Upanishad mantra, Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya Tayo Anyat Avichakashiti Pippalam Swaduvatti. It keeps on eating Vishya. It becomes a karta, does bhoga. Yachyasya santato bhavaha. Anything that is, that isness is given by that, belongs to Atma. Atma is Satyam. So that whatever is, that isness is borrowed from Atma. And therefore it is called Atma. That Atma. mean that seeker, that dhiraha, want to discover things. So far I thought I am a small little fellow, dissatisfied, discontent, and I only thought I am a small fellow, got married to become big fellow, then discovered that small little fellow is useless fellow, doesn't know anything, because she kept on giving compliment. अक्कल नहीं, कुछ बुद्धि नहीं है, समझन पड़ती है तुमने, साव नकाम हो जाए, I am useless fellow also, that he discovered. That is the benefit of marriage sometimes. So now he wants to discover that I am Purnaha, full. This is me. Pratyagatmanam Aikshat. Desirous of this. Avritta Chakshuhu. Avritta Chakshu means Vyavritta Chakshu. Withdrawn. Vyavritta Chakshu, not a Chakshu doesn't mean only eyes. People take it that way. So close eyes. It is not closing eyes. Meditate. There is not that. Chakshu is a upalakshana for all indriyani. All sense organs are withdrawn. And when I say all sense organs are withdrawn, the word sense organ includes mind also. You can will the withdrawal of external sense organs. You cannot will the withdrawal of the mind. Pramathi balavat dradam chanchalam. That withdrawal of mind has to be natural. That means the person is endowed with shamadama. Indriya nigraha. Mano nigraha is there. And natural withdrawal means there is peace with oneself. Otherwise it is pieces. Spelling only differs. The moment he sits and closes his eyes, the whole, like opening the floodgates, the water gushes out, thoughts gush out. No, there is inner leisure, inner freedom. Mind is not bubbling with things to achieve and not bubbling with things to do. Generally in meditation people get the list of the things to do. Formerly things to do were confined to some office work. Now two things are added. Reply those emails and see this WhatsApp. Things to do. It adds to that also. Now work to do. It goes on. Some past memories, hurts and guilts, some good experiences. Why didn't I do that? Why should I have done that? Blah, blah, blah. It goes on. Vyavritta chakshu. Mind is leisure. You enjoy yourself. Enjoy solitude. Enjoy being with myself, quiet. That is called avritta chakshu. Okay? So some complete mastery over senses. When I say complete, it includes emotions and cognitive mastery. It includes absence of restlessness about doing. This is to be achieved, this is not to be done. It goes on and on. So, avritta chakshu, it is not out of will. Fellow is sitting, he is withdrawn out of love for solitude, out of love for being oneself. There is relative quietude, shanti param gacchati. You can achieve the ultimate shanti when you have some relative shanti. And that relative shanti is because of antahkarana shuddhi. In this Upanishad only, there is a vakhya, there is a mantra where Yamaraja says that sense organs no more, or mind, no more creates problem for himself or herself. Befriended the mind. They are conducive to the pursuit of moksha. They are helpful in the pursuit of moksha. Not that they are in opposition, creating problems. And he says, amrutatvam icchan. Desirous of amrutatva. Why he became introvert? Not just out of running away. There is a clear desire for gaining moksha. Then the question comes, can I not have both, best of the both? I can continue my Vishaya involvement and I can pursue moksha also. Anyway, Swamiji class is only in the evening. Camps are only once a year. I can have both. Shankaracharya writes, very beautiful sentence, it's very loaded. Say, that fellow is called Samskritatma. So that nahi bahya vishaya alochana paratvam pratyagatma ikshanam cha ekasya kadapi sambhavati. Same person trying pratyagatma ikshanam, trying to see the self, trying to gain the self-knowledge, and at the same time pursuing bahya vishayas. At the same time is not possible. Why not possible? Because that verse we saw in the previous chapter, Shreyasya preyasya manushya metau tau samparitya vibhinakti dhiraha Shreyo hi dhiro preyaso vrunite preyo mando yogakshema vrunite. This pursuit of artha kama is something which never ever gives satisfaction. Any amount of wealth cannot give contentment. And any amount of pleasure cannot give contentment. On the contrary, sensual pleasures, nature is such that more you have, more you want. And equally true for money. More you have, more you want. Therefore, I find usually, in most of the cases, rich fellows are only stingy guys. They have money for next 20 generations, but they can't give. Nor they can spend for themselves also. They all stack the money. No, hold on. In India, recently, there are unclaimed accounts, bank accounts. You know how many? Some 70,000 crores. Government issued some notification, please take away whoever it is. Nobody is claimant. It is a tendency. Swami Dayanji once gave a very nice, what you can say, take home exercise to one gentleman. He heard all this, what work we are doing for him for seva and other teaching. He benefited. So he said, Swamiji, I often get bouts that I should do something to spread this knowledge. Problem is with ignorance only. Let's do something. Then when I am alone, I decide, plan, I'll just 20 million this and 30 million over here and we can do. But when I come to ashram, I can't speak. I can't give. Puja Swamiji told him, you really want to do this? Yes, Swamiji, I feel, but I am helpless to myself. Do one thing. From tomorrow onwards, you buy all the groceries. Anything shopping, you do it. And you cook. After 2 months, Swamiji asked him, how much do you require? Then he realized, I don't require this. Then he gave it away. But then there is a tendency to hoard money and tendency to have more vishayas. And that will keep the mind busy. It will make the mind more grosser and grosser. Anyone indulging in Vishayas beyond certain limit will want gross Vishayas. Subtleness is gone. And here it requires Sukshma Drashti. Here it requires leisure. That doesn't come. So these two pursuits are diagonally opposite. So it cannot be together. Nahi ekasya sambhavati. He says, okay, I have withdrawn myself. What do I get out of it? So many things. What for this person is avrutta chakshuhu. You see, in Shastric language, the pursuit of Arthakama is a pursuit of Shobhana Adhyasa. Shobhana Adhyasa. Adhyasa means to see something which it is not. Atasmin tad buddhi. To see as something which it is not. Like example they give as rope snake. To see a snake in rope is adhyasa. That which is not snake, you are seeing as snake. That is an error. But this ragadvesha is shobhana adhyasa. Means what? That which doesn't contain permanent happiness, the fellow sees happiness. Subjective imputation of the values of happiness. Like I gave example yesterday, balloon, toys. It is a shobhana adhyasa. Ashobhane, that which is not shobhana, in which to see something shobhana. And even dvesha also is shobhana adhyasa. Like typical American expression, when they say you like it. No, I hate it. The face they make it. I said, what is so bad in it that you hate it? There's an expression. I hate it. And there are some other person who love it, the same thing. They love the same thing. So it is neither worthy to be hated as much as you hate, nor worthy to be loved as much as you love. But because of the Shobhana Adhyasma, the remarriages are possible. One fellow has hated the person, another fellow is loving the person. That's how it is. And that's why garage sale is possible. He said, Shobhana Adhyasa. Whereas what we are talking about is removal of Adhyasa. First, Vishayeshu Shobhana Adhyasa Nivrutti. First you have to remove that Shobhana Adhyasa, then Atmani Shobhana Adhyasa api Nivrutti. When Anatma is superimposed on Atma, that is to be later on. So both are diagonally opposite. So he said, they cannot pursue together. Now, in other words, Dehatma Buddhi, one pursuit of Vishayas consolidates Dehatma Buddhi. And pursuit of moksha is giving up Dehatma Buddhi. It is like putting up RCC structure to break the wall. You are doing RCC, you are making it solid. And you are other way, you are saying, I want to break the wall. It doesn't work that way. What does it get? Suppose Pratyagatma, I am desirous of Pratyagatma. Yes. I got the Atma. What do I get? Like you are desirous of going to see the lion, Asiatic lion. You saw it. What did you get? Amrutattvam icchan. The fellow is getting amrutattva. That Atmecha is for amrutattva. So Atmecha is nothing but amrutecha, is a desire for amrutattva. And as I said yesterday, amrutattva means two meanings. Amruta means nectar, and amruta means deathlessness. timelessness. To go beyond time means discover the fullness and discover the self that is Ananda. I am Ananda. The person who becomes Avrutta Chakshu wants to know the self which is Ananda, that Atma. Pratyagatma vaikshate. That Pratyagatma is Amrutaha. For that purpose, this person has become introvert. This person has given up the Vishaya Ichha. Having said that, Yamraja sort of does some ninda about those who keep pursuing Vishayas. We'll say that slow mantra in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri